All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Under One Roof podcast. I'm here today at Fifth Color Studios with Pat.
Hola.
It's just him and I today, so let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Peloton has introduced a new in-house campaign to expand their customer base. The company is trying to regain its footing and appeal to a new set of customers with its brand new rowing machine. The commercial is a 90-second long form video. It features an enthusiastic and curious narrator, kind of asking questions like, what if it could teach you the correct form? And then it shows off the machine doing just that. So this is the first campaign that was created wholly within the Peloton company. Their in-house creative studio worked with the company's global product team and marketing team to develop the campaign. So the SVP and global head of marketing explained that over the years, Peloton has learned what's best to do in-house and what's best to do with their agency partners. Peloton has partnered with a lot of high-profile agencies in the past. So, Pat, why do you think that they tried their own for this campaign?
They were probably thinking about, what agency should take this, or whatever current agency that they have under contract. They were like, we can do better than this agency. We can do better than that agency because we know this, we know that. I guess that has to be the reason, right?
Yeah, I totally get that. I think it also comes down to agility. And I think if they had this product ready and they wanted to get it out there, that they felt like they needed to do it in-house so that they could produce it and get it out there as fast as they can. And the SVP actually explained that in a statement. He said that agility for this campaign and this product was key, which is why they wanted to do it in-house with their own creative studio to kind of drive the launch. And the ad is airing on Peloton's social channels in paid digital and online. So 3 different kind of sectors here. And this also allows them to execute their idea. So they obviously had this idea created in-house, execute it in-house, nice and quickly, and then gather the data from the campaign in real time and then optimize as they see fit. So they can kind of, I get it. I, in my position, sometimes feel too like it's easier to just do everything yourself. I don't think that's the case with every campaign. And I'm curious what you think, like why this product versus, the bike. They worked so hard over time with other agencies. Like what's different about this product versus the bike?
I think they learned a lot from the bike, right? Whatever marketing agency helped them get the bike out and get ad campaigns for the bike, they probably learned from that and took from that and say, hey, we can do this in-house. And I really think the biggest factor is finances.
Yeah.
Financially, they probably save a lot of money. They probably went, hey, we're going to spend 100, 200, 300, 400, maybe $1 million on this campaign if we reach out to this agency. But if we keep it in-house, we can literally train someone that we have already in our internal marketing team, which that's what they're doing anyway.
And they have, like, obviously they have all these people on staff. It's like, I'm kind of surprised that they have worked with such high profile agencies paying that money, because I'm like, wait, you have a lot of those people on staff? Like, and I know that comes from daily creative, like, social media posts and whatnot. But these big campaigns, if you're able to do it in-house, like I'm surprised this is kind of the first one that they've wholly done in-house.
Yeah. Maybe this is the first time that they can really afford it.
Yeah.
Because now you're paying employees yearly instead of an agency for a 3 or 4 month span.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they need to save money because the rowing machine, guess how much it costs?
How much?
$3,200.
Oh my God.
Yeah, insane. So the bike, for reference, if you don't know, the bike is about, if you get the shoes, which you need to clip in and everything that kind of comes along with it, the base level of the bike with all the equipment is $1,700. So still expensive, but this is basically double. It's so much money. $3,200 for a rowing machine. And you can like swivel the screen so then you can get off and like do more exercise. But I'm like,
I like how you tried to like sell that.
I know
It's $3,200, but you can swivel the screen though.
Yeah. How cool is that? It's like those iPads that you require to like tip, and they turn it around and you're like 15% tip. Like that's what I picture. But no, I mean it is. I'm sure it is nice. I'm not doubting that. But the commercial is just hilarious to me because it's like $3,200. Like let's show all the benefits of this product, and they show rowing, and they're like, we'll teach you the correct form. Also, you can fold it up so it doesn't take up that much space in your workout room. Like all the things that a product like should do.
I feel like that's what you have to whisper to yourself if you spend $3,200 on that product.
Right.
Like every time you put it up, ooh, $3,200. If it wasn't $3,200, it would be taking up all this space.
Right. It's like you really pay for the quality here.
If your parents buy this instead of a 2009 Honda Civic for your first college car, they don't love you.
Right. But that makes sense that they tried to like do this campaign in-house. Maybe they're like, let's start, see what we can do, save the money we can. And if it's not working, maybe they'll have to go, with a bigger, well-known agency to kind of think up more creative. But the campaign, I think it's a good commercial. I think it's a good first commercial. It shows the product and all the benefits, like we just said, all the things you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in a more humorous light, being like, what if it could do this? Oh, it does. That's kind of the whole commercial. I think it's a little long. I think they should have picked a few more important point of differentiations. But for a first commercial, wholly in-house, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest difference from doing something in-house and having an agency. I feel like the first initial commercial for any product, I feel like any company could do their own first commercial. Mm-hmm. It's introducing the product. Who knows better of what the product beholds than the company that makes it?
Right.
It's about the second, the third, the TikTok campaigns, the Facebook, the static images. It's that where the marketing agencies are, they're going to be missed in this process. So if they know they can pick that up, then they should be good, but that's going to be the tough part.
Right. Wasn't it like not that long ago that Peloton laid off a ton of employees?
Pretty sure they had a part where they recalled a bunch of their machines also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why. Well, and then it's funny. And the flip side, SoulCycle not too long ago started a campaign that they were buying back Peloton bikes. Like if you wanted to be a member at SoulCycle, you haven't gone since the pandemic and blah, 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 they would buy your Peloton bike and give you like 30 free classes at Soul in exchange.
That sounds like a terrible exchange, though.
I mean, if you want to get back into I think it's kind of brutal on SoulCycle's part. They're like, F you, Peloton, like we'll buy your bikes, recycle them, get rid of them, burn them, and people can come to our classes for free for 30 times.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that type of marketing.
Yeah.
Attacking one company, basically attacking the big dog company in the market and just going right at them with something that's going to strip their sales or strip their customers.
Yeah.
It's always kind of dicey, I like it though.
No, I like it too. The competition.
We got through that whole section and you didn't even mention, your little side gig. I thought that was your whole personality.
It is basically. For those that don't know, it's like a wedding speech, how everyone starts it. For those of you who don't know me, I am a cycle instructor on the side. But I teach at a cycle studio here in Kohler, Wisconsin. It's called Bold. It's modeled after SoulCycle. So I'm a big fan of the in-person. I'm not pro Peloton. I understand the desire to work out from home, especially during the pandemic. But I think the community at Bold is what makes it so great. And yeah, so I'm a SoulCycle, Bold Cycle fan.
How do those classes go?
Like how long?
Like what happens? I walk in with my spandex, and I wear spandex. Spandex
with the padding in the butt.
I probably need padding in the butt.
You need some padding.
With the spandex. With my headband on. Padding. My wristbands.
Your sweatbands, sweat hair. Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're going to need it. We sweat a lot.
So what's the mood? Like, tell me what's going on. In my first time at Bold, I walk in, I see you. I'm guessing you're at the front of the class with your bike.
Yep.
Turn to the rest of the bike. So where do I sit? Tell me, what am I doing?
Yeah, so there's 3 rows and then 3 side rows as well. So there's about like 42 bikes. So that's when it's filled. There's like 43 people riding technically.
Okay.
It's dark in there.
Very specific number. 40,
yeah.
Only 43.
Only 43.
Okay, I like
that. There's 2 candles in the front, and that's really all that's lit. Other than when I have to show you a move, I'll like put on my light, which is the podium light. So. So it's intense, but I always tell people when they're scared or they're intimidated, like no one's looking at you. I'm not even looking at you on the podium. I can't see you. All I see are my two little lights. I turn on my light to show you the move, but like I'm dying up there too. I'm riding just like you are.
Is that why they make it dark so you don't see other people?
Yeah, and then the music's really loud so you can kind of just get in the zone and you ride to the beat of the music, so it's really fun. It feels like you're just dancing up there and it's just so much I can't I'm so pro in-person class because the community and like moving side to side together with the person next to you is something you'll never feel on the Peloton. And I don't know. I don't think that's something that they'll ever be able to. I'd love to see Peloton create a commercial like attacking SoulCycle. Like Soul's attacking Peloton, but Peloton's not attacking them back.
I feel like McDonald's has really never hasn't attacked Burger King lately.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because they're bigger than Burger King. And by them even mentioning it, it's going to make people wonder who they're talking about and actually go back and like look.
I just think Peloton has struggled so many times. Like they've had more valleys and than they have peaks. So it's like, I don't know. I just think, I wonder if anyone on the team has brought up like a competitive commercial or something campaign that they could do because I think that's an interesting point. Like maybe they are like, oh, we're so much better than, and they are so different. And that's what, they're so different, yet they're competitors. Right. I think that's what's so, maybe it is like, it's very up to the person, the consumer, than what they want. But you could say, oh, they're so different. But at the same time, like Peloton takes away from Cycle Studios.
Right.
So I don't know.
I guess, right. It's like the big business takes away from all the smaller businesses that are in the area. Just like,
yeah.
Now Bold is like, I bet you, like if Peloton was to cease to exist, I guarantee Bold would probably pick up a couple extra customers, right?
Right.
So everybody wants to see Peloton go down. Even Megan, she wants to see you guys go down.
I'm telling you.
I'm team. No, I'm just kidding.
What are you? What side are you on?
I'm more, I want people to go to Bold. I want people,
Thank you.
Sign up for your classes. 43 max, so
43 max.
43 strong.
Come to my classes.
Oh,
Wednesdays and Thursdays. All right. The next topic I want to talk about is a little bit less of a headline and more of a topic of discussion. But so basically, we're seeing more and more brands create original songs for TikTok. Just recently, McDonald's teamed up with a rapper to create an original beat inspired by the consumers saying that the Sprite tastes like static, like TV static.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Pizza Hut partnered with John Moss, which is, he has like 6.9 million followers, to promote their Detroit-style pizza, which looks fire. Did you look that up?
Yeah, I like the Detroit. I like when
you're
people,
from that area.
Yeah, I like when people just throw cities on like a style and just like, oh shit, it's Detroit style. Yeah. It's like,
it looks it looks so good though. I was kind of like, oh, maybe you should get that for lunch today.
Yeah, just like I think it's just like to just stick in your head, like, oh, what style of pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, Detroit. Yeah.
It's like the Chicago style. It's like, where's the sauce? Where's the cheese? It's under the sauce.
Where's the cheese?
It's under the sauce.
Where's the cheese?
It's under the sauce. It's under the sauce. But wanted to ask you, how do you think TikTok, as opposed to other platforms, has changed the music industry?
I guess the biggest thing that they've done is they allowed old songs to become relevant again. Mm-hmm. I don't know what platform that you could have done that on.
Yeah.
Where songs that didn't really even have a dance to it can now have a dance, like recreated dance to it. Obviously all user generated content. But I think the biggest one is the fact that they allow people to pick the best part of their song, because usually the good TikToks are 15 to 30 seconds, right?
Yep.
So let's say like your song, how many songs that you said like, man, this song sounds really good, because it's 15 to 30 seconds of the best part that the artist put out there, or the sound that was made.
Yeah, like and the chorus or whatever, that's like the catchiest part.
Yeah, and then you go view the song and you're like, man, you literally deleted off your playlist the next day because you're like, this song is garbage outside of the hook.
I'm not going to lie, that was First Class by Jack Harlow for me. It was. He played the best part. He did a little dance. We were all like, all the girls were like, oh my God, so hot. And then the song came out and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
you forgot he actually had to rap on the
Yeah.
track too. It's like after Fergie's part, like, wait a minute, he's
Wait.
he's rapping by himself.
yeah.
We don't want that.
Right. But no, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say three big things. The old becoming new again, especially because TikTok is still dominated by a younger generation. So Gen Zs don't know song from the 80s. So for example, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, when it got featured in Stranger Things, it blew up on TikTok. It's like, we didn't know that song before. And now it's like, it's top of the charts still to this day. Like,
Right.
crazy. And then same with, the Cranberry thing, Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dreams coming back in. Like, I'm sure we all knew of that song or whatever, but coming back in now, I'm sure it's on everyone's playlist. Like, it's just things that come back in and they blow up because of the power of TikTok. And then, like you said, new artists promoting their platform, not only promoting like the chorus of their songs, but promoting pre-saves and themselves as a whole. And then I said my last big thing is that it allows brands and creators to work together to create these new songs, which is exactly what Pizza Hut and McDonald's are doing. And just working with creators and influencers on TikTok has blown up. But TikTok is heavily used by Gen Z audience who are known to be kind of like ad weary, they say, and require authenticity for a successful TikTok. And to be a successful brand on TikTok, you have to be authentic. So working with creators is a great way to kind of connect with an audience like ourselves, but it does require to find like a very good balance between the brand's identity and the talent's identity.
Right.
So that's kind of my question for you. What's more important in your opinion? Like, how is it the creator's talent or the brand's identity?
It has to be the creator's talent, right? Because that's the reason that people are going to go get your product.
Right.
Because my favorite creator looks like he's having so much fun with your product. The Sprite one, like, look like he's really enjoying McDonald's Sprite. I haven't been to McDonald's in years. I might go get one now. So I think that's part of it. And brands don't really have to worry about the creator not like sticking to, their voice and tone, because the creator is going to try to stick to their voice and tone because they want them to use that video. That's their money too. That's how you make money as a creator. You find out the voice and tone, you find out what the company really wants, and you try to duplicate that while also putting your own style on it to make it seem organic.
I almost take the different route. I agree with that, but I also, part of me disagrees. A brand chooses an influencer or a creator to work with because of who they are. Like, you as on my end, it would be like my job to find a creator that fits Fifth Color's brand to work with them. If I choose a creator who kind of fails us, doesn't like do what we were like hoping for, that's my fault.
Right.
Because I did not obviously do enough research to find a creator that is our brand. Like, brands should be finding these creators that they know is going to do a good job. They don't have to tell them what to do. They kind of let them run with it, and like naturally it fits. Because I agree, like, I as a consumer am going to trust a brand that works with a creator if it's their content. I follow that creator for a reason, and the creator grew their channel for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I just think if a brand is working with them, like, they should know exactly what to expect.
But like you said a couple episodes ago, when we were talking about the Starburst and how they just did a challenge, and you think that they're going to take that challenge and go and find someone like, oh, we really like that, how this video get popular, we'll take their idea. McDonald's definitely stole this idea. 100%. They didn't. I wouldn't call it that they chose the creator. They stole the idea, and then the creators also stole the idea and just recreated it for McDonald's.
Like the TV static relation, are you saying?
Yeah, because it's like, there used to be a Sprite challenge, a McDonald's Sprite challenge.
What was that?
There's a saying that, it's true. McDonald's Sprite is a lot more potent than regular Sprite.
Oh, okay.
So there were a lot of people out there who were trying to drink a whole McDonald's Sprite without taking a break. Yeah. And they were like messing themselves up.
Oh my God.
So that's kind of where it comes from. Someone sipping a Sprite for a long time. And if you see all the static commercials that they have now that are sponsored, it's like someone sipping a Sprite and then they start dancing and stuff like that, because that's what people were doing. They're, trying to hold that in. Yeah. And that's kind of where they get it at, but they kind of switch it up a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely stolen off like what's already been created. But yeah, I get that. What you're saying is like, yeah, they definitely pick people after that. But again, I feel like that creator, all he has to do is just copy the voice and tone of what they want.
Yeah. I just think at the end of the day that creators understand TikTok better than brands do sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just think like they know what their audience likes. The creators know what's going to stick with their audience. And like they also know the trends. Like if you're a creator, an influencer, that's your job is TikTok. Like, you know what the trends are happening. I think businesses, brands were, one, restricted on a lot of things. Like, we can't use voiceovers sometimes or songs sometimes.
Right.
And two, like, it's not our only job to scroll TikTok all day. I wish it was. I mean, my God, like, that would be sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's just not. So it's like, if you do your research and you find a creator, like, I think you're best to leave it up to them to create the content, because they know what's going to stick. And if they don't create what you like, then you didn't do your research. Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and with all that help that they had from creators and what they did, the video that they came out recently is garbage. I mean, it is like really bad. It's basically no offense to the artist that made it, but it's basically someone, I forgot what he says, but he's just like, oh, something, my McDonald's Sprite. And
yeah, it's like just TV static in the background too. It's like,
and then it's a bunch of like
McDonald's Sprite.
Yeah, techno beats, and it's like him in the studio, and it's like a bunch of glitches of him and like in the camera and all this stuff going on, and just like, man, that's what they came up with.
Yeah.
And it's like, you would think they would go of them like the more comedic side with this, especially with
like,
that Sprite
or
challenge.
even if you do take the like serious rapping, whatever, you could do more of like the funny lyrics that, like, I don't know. I just think if you look at the lyrics of a Nicki Minaj song, like, I just die laughing. I'm like, that's so clever.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's funny, but it's clever.
Yeah.
They could have gone that route.
Yeah. Like, right. Actually have him rap.
Right.
He said one line. He said something, McDonald's Sprite, and then like nothing else. And he was in the studio.
Yeah.
It was like, create a challenge with maybe some rap lyrics, something. Yeah, I don't know where they going. But like going back to like how influential music is on TikTok, I did not know there's a study out there that says 67% of users that find music on TikTok go and stream it on another platform.
Really?
Yeah, 67%.
Like they go, so that you're saying they find it on TikTok, they go to Spotify, they download it.
Yep. Go to Apple Music, download it.
I'm guilty of that. I scroll TikTok every night a week, I would say, before I go to bed. And at least once a week, I'm like switching apps to go to Spotify to like download that song. It's been huge for me in discovering music. And also I think it's been huge for artists and promoting, but I don't think every artist likes it. Like, I know Halsey was really open about her producers telling her like, you have to, make a TikTok about this, or you have to promote it like this. And she didn't want to. She's like, I just want to sing my song. But then on the flip side, you have like Quinn92, who's slowly coming out with a new album, dropping songs here and there. One comes out tomorrow, Friday. And he's like, I think he's made 2 billion TikToks about his song Backpack. I couldn't wait for it to come out. I was excited.
Right.
I had heard the chorus. I knew it. So I was able to ride to it in my class the next day because I knew the chorus. I knew exactly when it was going to hit. And I loved it. So I don't know. There's like benefits, but I also see the frustration on the artist side, like not wanting to do that.
Yeah, if you're not like a big social media person, TikTok is if you don't like social media, TikTok is the worst thing for you.
Yeah.
Because it's so personable. Like,
right.
You have to be in the camera, dancing to your own song. People want to see that. It's not like other platforms where you can kind of just put up some image of you and put the song over top.
Right.
So the other thing I want to say about artists that have their music on TikTok is they can easily see, especially if they're just starting out, they can easily see if TikTok is jumping up their streams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The analytics.
The analytics are so easy because if you're an artist that has, let's say, you're Drake or something,
Mm-hmm.
and your main audience is 24 to 30.
Yeah.
And you put a song out on TikTok, and your analytics start to change, and it's like 13 to 20.
Mm.
You're like, yeah, that's definitely TikTok doing that.
Oh,
It's just like so easy to read
Mhm.
on streaming, and you can easily tell if it's working or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the analytics is something that like artists didn't, I know they have on like Spotify and whatnot. You can see even like what playlist your song has been added to. That's pretty funny. There's artists have some pretty funny TikToks. It's like, here's what my song's been added to, and the playlist is like, I'm ready to die. And they're like, whoa, okay. What the? Like, it's so bad. But yeah, TikTok as another platform just has like really good analytics, seeing like what your followers like to look at, what else they're discovering, maybe even which artists they also interact with.
To me, if I was an artist, I just keep putting out snippets and just kind of like look at the feedback of it and just be like, oh, okay, I'll put out this song first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make this a single.
I think also some artists like Halsey before, they don't give a crap. Like they do what they want to do. And I support that as well. But I think TikTok has been especially good for upcoming and new artists. And so I think if you are in that position, you're not like a vet like Halsey, that this is like the best platform to be using and to be discovered on, because you're just going to blow up. I mean, look at Gail with her ABCDEFU. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
That like blew up on TikTok, and it went to the top charts like so quickly. And I think is all because of TikTok.
I mean, yeah, it's just such an easy way for you to discover artists. There's been plenty of times. I've always kind of been like on the fence with Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I like Frank Ocean, but I'm not gonna dive deep into his album. And then I don't know if you remember, everybody was using that sound. And then the Godspeed.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Glory.
Beautiful.
I was like, dang, that's his song?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, let me go check out the album. Like, oh, I love this album. Let me go check out more. And
Right.
I'm a big Frank Ocean fan.
Yeah. Just spirals. I know. I completely agree. So to follow up on the branded song efforts, McDonald's Sprite song has more than 6 million views, but it's only been used in 39 videos. And I don't know if you guys know this, but really the goal when you have a company or a branded like song, views are great, likes are great, that's fine. But it really isn't until people either stitch the video or use the voiceover in their own video that it blows up. And so 39 videos, I think, is a disappointment so far for McDonald's. So there isn't an exact science to making a hit song, but no doubt the goal is to make it feel organic and kind of recreate it in everyday life.
There's no, I mean, I'll play it right here.
Bro, want me to take a sip at it, make it down the side? Bro, can I take a sip? Bro, can I take a sip?
Okay, so you just heard that, right? There's no freedom to that. I'll even throw a TikTok in there just to show you like what people are doing on the TikTok.
Bro, want me to take a sip at it, make it down the side? Bro, can I take a sip?
Now, if my date is going wrong, only one thing can make it right. A good old Sprite from McDonald's. You just take one little sip and...
Bro, want me to take a sip at it, make it down the side? Bro, can I take a sip? Bro, can I take a sip?
There's no freedom.
Right.
Like as much as you know, like want that song to do well, I'm sure as the creators of the song and the people that put out this campaign ad, there's nothing really else to do with it. There's no challenge. There's no real thing to do with that
Dance so
song.
far. Yeah, like someone has to, like Charlie D'Amelio has to use it and like make a dance to it.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
which she probably won't do unless she's paid for it. So
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of money.
But yeah, definitely that's where you'll see max growth and success is when people start to use it. So, all right, Pat, 60% of chief marketing officers will cut their data and analytics department in half by 2023, according to a new survey by Gartner. So despite an increased emphasis on the importance of data in marketing, Gartner found that only 53% of marketing decisions are influenced by data, which is crazy because we are a very data-driven firm and we kind of lead with data in everything that we do. So the reported top reasons why analytics aren't used in marketing were inconsistencies and difficulty of access, which I think we've all experienced. I don't think that's that's very common knowledge. It's difficult to efficiently integrate data into marketing decisions, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. Gartner found that organizations were unable to prove marketing value if analytics influence less than 50% of decisions. So they're kind of saying like analytics needs to influence our decisions, but if analytics influenced more than 50% of decisions, the organization was likely to see a diminishing return. So it's literally 50-50 here. There's pros, there's cons. We are known as a data-driven agency. What do you think about these findings? What are the pros and cons to data? What do you think we should be doing?
I don't really think there's any cons to data if you use it right, right? So I feel like there's like a baseline for data. Like eventually you're going to find so much data, but another agency can find that same data. It's
Right.
what you do with the data at
Yes.
some point. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing that's why it's dropping down. And part of the reason why I think they cut their data and analytics team in half is because it's easier to access data now. Because more things have been done to where everybody knows, okay, that percent equals that. You got to do this to get that. You got to do this to get that.
Yeah.
So more people are finding data easier, which means teams can be smaller. And it's also because it's so much easier to find that data, people are having the same data. So eventually it has to come to a decision, like your thought process. What are you going to do with the data?
Right.
That's going to differ you from another agency.
Yeah. No, that's totally right. And the article explains that CMOs have to address kind of the real challenge of data, and that's cognitive biases and the need for data-informed culture. And basically what I mean by cognitive biases are these like major barrier to analytics and marketing and what they call cherry picking. So basically you have a preconceived idea of what you want the data to say. So it's like, we have this idea and now I need to find data to support it. Like that's where you're going to run into issues. We at our organization, and we're structured based on McKinsey and Company, our owner here worked there for 12 years. So he's very structured in his data and we have a very certain way that we go about it. But we attack data first. And I think that's what helps us because we don't go into our data research with a preconceived idea of like, here's what we wanted to say. So we're going to cherry pick and find data that tells us that. We just let it, hey, lead our direction, and then we'll go from there. And I think that's a big benefit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best way to use it. And like you said, a lot of agencies aren't using it that way anymore.
Right.
They're coming up with these ideas that they really like, and honestly, there's data to back a lot of stuff that's not true.
Yeah.
Like I could probably find data that tells you that you'll live longer if you wear your shoes on the opposite foot.
Right.
I guarantee I can find.
Well, because
that
it's
data.
all about how you phrase it too. Like
Yeah.
we talk about all the time. Like it's how you present the data too. You can spin anything. It's not accurate, but you can spin anything you found.
Yeah.
Based on phrasing.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Whatever percentages you want to find, you'll find them.
Right.
Unless you're looking for the truth and you don't have a preconceived idea, like you said. I'm only looking for the truth. I'm only looking for the proven percentages.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the data that's true and then going with my idea.
Right. I think there's also a little bit of an issue in the hierarchy of how businesses approach data and analytics. So R&I, or like research and innovation or research and development teams, I don't know how low they are on the totem pole, but like ultimately they do the data. They're not the decision makers of how that data is applied. So what I mean by that is 26% of respondents in the Gartner survey said decision makers did not review data that was provided to them. And 24% went with their gut feelings to make the choice instead. So I can't imagine how frustrating it is for R&D teams or any analytics team that's doing the data, finding the accurate stuff, but then not delivering the whole picture. And that's not their fault. It's just the leadership or whoever's, in charge of the project. So how can we as an agency kind of hold ourselves accountable when it comes to data and analytics? And like, how do we adjust if we run into a problem like that?
Well, it starts and ends at the decision maker. Who's your final decision maker? So whoever, that's a part of our leadership team that has that power at that point with each company, they have to, we're going to hold ourselves accountable here.
Right.
I mean, we're pretty good. Like, people who are, higher up, Megan's my marketing manager. So even if she says, hey, I don't think that's right, if I come with the data and says that it's right, she's going to accept it.
Yeah.
And that's just how we work here. So it starts because that's the culture that was built here.
Right.
And that's
a very
always
flat organization.
Yeah.
Like you have, not like within the organization, but decision wise and like data wise, like what you find is going to be used by Justin.
Right.
It's not like he's like overpowering you in that sense,
Yeah, right. Even if he has his opinion, the reason he has that opinion is because he has data to back it up.
Yeah.
He's not just like, oh, no, this is my gut feeling.
Right.
He's just like, but eventually, the thing about marketing that, it doesn't suck, but the truth about marketing is that data runs out at some point. At some point, there's enough data to support this. There's enough data to support that in certain situations.
Right.
And that gut feeling does have to come back into a factor.
Yeah.
And, it sucks because sometimes you're wrong and you have very good intentions and you actually went through the process the correct way. But you can still be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The article also touches on like the idea of kind of leading by example. And I think this is super important for us. If we're telling our clients that data is important, we have to be using it in our organization as well. And I think we do. We do a really good job of that. But less like I think or I would do this and more like data proves that we should do this.
Right.
And we have been really applying it to ourselves because otherwise we go into a client meeting and we have no accountability because we have to use data for you, but for us it's like however we feel.
Right.
So I think it's really important for us to lead by example and kind of stop using that like sample size of one, like being, oh, my roommate would do this or well, I would do this. It's like, just because you do it doesn't mean that's applicable to everyone. So doesn't work in marketing. I think data is extremely important to marketing, applying anything to your audience. And I don't know. I think in reality, you should not be cutting your analytics department. I just think you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Bold statement.
Yeah. I agree and disagree with that. If they find out that if data is getting like easier and easier to access, and if you're in the same...
That was one of the issues, is it's not always easy to find. Maybe it's easy to access, but it's not easy to find.
Right, but do you need a super big team to find that information? I
think you need a big team if you're going to take the data and use it properly. Yeah. I don't think you need a big team if the decision maker at the top isn't even going to review the data, like 27% aren't.
Yeah. If you're not going to review the data, then you don't need a big team.
Right. It's if you don't use it, then you don't need that. But
I just need it to like this point. Right here. That's all the data I need. And after that, it's going off all gut. You don't want to be working for a CEO that's flipping a coin. Like, why is he flipping that coin? All right, heads, we're going with this. Like,
right.
Whoa.
Well, and I think people have like a misconception, like, oh, if you're a data-driven firm, you're not creative. And it's like, no, we keep those teams very separate for a reason. Like we have, we don't let them, like, we don't tell them this is what we need from you. Like we kind of let them work separately and then we work them together to make sure that the creative does fit the data at the end of the day. But like, we're not restricting our creative team by any means just because we dive into the data first. Like if anything, it makes us more efficient.
Yeah.
So
for sure. You're just canceling out stuff that is not going to work from the beginning. So why even waste thought process on that?
Right. Yeah. Data is important.
Data driven. Skirt, skirt, skirt.
Beep, beep. All right, Pat, Q&A time. If you have a question that you want answered by Pat and I, and sometimes Ashley, email underoneroof@fifthcolor.com. All right, this week's question is, what is the most important trait for a salesperson to have?
I used to work at a New Balance store.
Oh, Really?
Yeah, I was a great salesman.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I used to be a foot specialist.
Of course.
Yeah, I had to get like a tiny degree online. It took like, I think it took like 30 minutes, but it was tough.
That's amazing. So what did you use? What would you say you need to possess to be a good salesperson?
First I want to shout out my graduation class for that New Balance class. Class of September 14th. One thing that I learned from that is you got to be honest.
Yeah.
But honest in the way that still protects your company. You can't be like too honest. Like, yeah, you know, sometimes the chef doesn't wash his hands. Like you can't do that. But you can be honest in where you never lead the customer astray. Like
Yeah.
I'm never gonna tell you something that you could come back and say, hey, you told me this, and this isn't gonna happen. It's kind of like that doctor honesty where you're not supposed to come out and say, oh, he'll be fine, he's gonna make it. Just like, I'm gonna tell you everything, I'm gonna tell you the facts to make you comfortable, and you're gonna know that I'm trying my best to get this done. So,
Right.
And that honesty, while also still just keeping them comfortable while you're selling them the product, is probably the best trait.
Yeah, I completely agree. I also think that the best trait for a salesperson to have is like, one, believe in the product you're selling. And for us on the agency side, like, it's easy for us to do because like we believe in the work that we put out and our coworkers put out. And what we produce is top quality, and we believe that, or else we wouldn't put it out. So that makes selling easy because we believe in the product that we're delivering. But two, I think, like you said, honesty, but also listening to the person you're selling to. And I think it's very different, product versus service. So like B2B versus B2C. But I think listening to who you're selling to will give you so much power in the next sale that you're trying to make. Learning from the person you're selling to.
Yeah. Going back to your first point, this is no shade to my former employer, but recruiting, which is also happens to be my alma mater, recruiting for them sucked.
Yeah.
Because the things that I was selling, I knew they were just window dressing.
Okay.
Just like, yeah, this is what it looks like and this is what I'm selling. But once you get here, you're going to realize like maybe I'm fabricating this a little bit, which I didn't feel comfortable doing. So I had to start telling the truth and start kind of like, hey, you know, if you come here, this is what you're getting out of it. These are the perks of this. But like you said, working at Fifth Color, someone asked like, hey, do you guys do, you know, print? Do you guys do something on the agency side? Can you guys do this for me? I'm like, yes, we have the best.
Right.
Come here. I guarantee it, because it feels good to be able to guarantee that the company that you work for will get the job done because you see the process every day.
And the person will be happy. It's like, it's so easy to sell when you're like, yeah, you will be happy with the delivered product. Like, I can guarantee that, you know? Whereas like, yeah, if you're selling something that you don't necessarily believe in, like, I'm sure that makes it a lot harder. So
I guess the New Balance job wasn't the hardest job I ever had. The hardest job I ever had, and it was really hard to sell, was the volcano insurance. It's really hard to sell volcano insurance in the Midwest. But that still is my side gig. So if you need volcano insurance, 1-800-STOP-VOLCANO, volcanostops.com. Let me know if you... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
how's that going for you?
I have 2 customers.
Are they okay? Like clinically?
I mean, have they seen a volcano? All right, then.
So one of the sections we wanted to maybe start doing in our future podcast is something we learned each week. And I think something I learned this week is that Pat sells volcano insurance.
Yeah. I'll put it down here. 1-800-VOLCANO-STOP.
You know what the other thing I learned this week is from my McKinsey book is that sometimes it's best to sit in silence.
Really? Who says that? Is that like in what setting? Megan, say something.
In meetings, in interviews, when they don't want to talk. And sometimes you just let the silence, because sometimes the silence is loudest.
Really?
Yeah. But also maybe to apply, Pat, you should have just stopped talking before your volcano insurance topic.
Oh, I should have been silent. Anyways, 1-800-Volcano-STOP.
Thank you guys so much for listening this week. Maybe we'll have Ashley back next week. We can't wait.
Are you pointing at me? Toodles.
Toodles.